Hey, thanks a lot. So I'm Riyad. I'm the CEO at Cubist. We think about secure key management infrastructure. I'm also a professor at CMU. I work on cryptography, CK proof, stuff like that. So the whole thing is kind of near and dear to my heart, as you can imagine. I actually helped with the original BLS specification from the IETF. So, you know, I've been kind of deep in the guts for a while. And as I kind of have thought about higher levels in the stack, I think one of the things that you learn talking to people who run validators for Ethereum and for other chains is that the thing that they worry most about is slashing. And that kind of makes sense. It's a huge economic penalty. But on the other hand, it makes absolutely no sense at all because it's the security mechanism for Ethereum, and yet it's the worst nightmare of the people who are supposed to be securing Ethereum, which is like, our security mechanism is a problem. That's strange. So, but it's actually a little bit worse than that. And the reason is that slashing is not just a risk of making a mistake. Slashing is something that an attacker can use to convince you to maybe give them a ransom or something like this. This is a concern that has been, sort of getting worse and worse over time. I think as people see, large concentrations of ETH being managed by the same folks, something that might look like an operational problem or like a minor security problem in your staking setup. So, for example, somebody can launch another validator on your behalf. They don't even get access to the keys, and yet they can slash you as a result of that. So that's a very strange thing. And what it actually means is that the security mechanism that for Ethereum is the insecurity mechanism for the validators themselves. So this is, to me, a very strange property, and like we've all kind of come to accept it over time, like a lobster boiling, or so they say. So what do we do about this? Well, so we can kind of formally define what it means to never be slashed. And it's a relatively simple thing. There's a safety property, right? We have a trace of all things that we've ever signed, and we can simply say for any given signature, is this a slashable signature or not? So the primitive that we need here is simply, maybe not so simple, a key that cannot sign a slashable message, right? If you give me that, then if there's no way for a key to sign a slashable message, then there's no way for an attacker to make me slash myself. There's also no way for me to slash myself accidentally, for example, by fat fingering my Kubernetes configuration. So how do you get this? How do you build a key that has this strange property? Well, you can rephrase it. You can say, this is kind of a concurrency property. What I need is a strict serialization of all signatures that a key has ever been asked to sign. And at each signing, I need to check, does this strict serialization concur with, or is it compatible with, the current signature? If not, say no. So this is something that you can actually implement using something much like a hardware security module. If, again, as an abstraction, if your key lives in exactly one spot inside of an HSM, and the only way to access that key is after querying this kind of trace property or this sort of concurrency property of the key, then that is enough to guarantee that key will never sign a slashable message. It's actually a relatively simple thing to prove, and it's sort of a satisfying thing because this is something that you can actually build modulo the concurrency properties of, say, a database or something like this. So really, at the bottom, what you need is a hardware security module and a sort of a database that gives you some kind of guaranteed strict serialization, and those two things are sufficient to build a key that will never slash. So this is actually a property that you can formally verify as well. It's actually much simpler than many of the things that we try to formally verify about systems that work with keys. Far and away simpler than something like formally verifying a multi-party computation protocol, even one for BLS signatures, which are sort of the ideal perfect signature scheme for MPC, and yet still extremely hard. So this is the sort of thing that we're building at Cubist. We're thinking very hard about how you can guarantee that a key will never slash, that a validator will be safe, even against an attacker. And as part of that, we've put together what we call the Secure Staking Alliance. Please check us out, securestakingalliance.org. We'd love to hear your thoughts, and we'd love to continue to develop this notion of building validators and other machinery that is secure by design. Thank you very much.